This is the video for Lesson 4.1, Areas of Parallelograms. In this video, you will learn how to find the area of parallelograms. A polygon is a closed figure in a plane that is made up of three or more line segments that intersect only at their endpoints. Below you see several examples of polygons are parallelograms, triangles, and trapezoids. Parallelograms are figures that have opposite sides parallel. Remember, parallel means that no matter how far these lines extend, they will never touch, kind of like railroad tracks. They could include squares or rectangles, or figures such as this one right here. A triangle is a three-sided shape. A trapezoid is a four-sided shape that only has two sets of parallel lines, like this one and this one. No matter how far those lines extended, they'll never touch. The other two lines are not parallel. In this section, we're going to learn how to find the area of a parallelogram. The area of a polygon is the amount of surface it covers. You can find the area of a parallelogram in much the same way as you find the area of a rectangle. So remember, area, you have to think about it as like laying the carpeting of a floor. How much carpeting would you need for the floor? The area of a parallelogram in words, the area A of a parallelogram is the product of its base B and its height H. In algebra, we say A equals B times H. If you look at this picture here, base usually goes left to right on the bottom or the top, and the height is always perpendicular to that. This little square here means that this line going this way is perpendicular to this line going this way. Perpendicular means that it meets at a right or a 90-degree angle. So to find the area, we find the length of that base and we multiply it by the length of whatever that height is. Every time we find the area of any figure, we are going to start by writing the formula of the area for that figure. So for a parallelogram, the formula for that is A equals base times height. And then we look in the picture, and first we're going to find the base. And the base for this is right there. That is 12. And the height is the one that is perpendicular to that. And I know because it's got this little square here. And the height is 14. It goes up and down. And then I multiply those two numbers together. 12 times 14 is 168. And we always need units. So this is given to us in meters, but meters times meters is going to be meters squared. You could also write this as square meters if you chose. So I'm going to go to example 1b. I'm going to start off the same way, writing my formula A equals B times H. I'm going to look in my picture for the base. So this time I have to look at this another way. The base is kind of going up and down. The height is you can sometimes be inside our picture. So in this case, the base is going to be 8.5. So I can leave this as a fraction, or if you're more comfortable with decimals, you would know that 8.5 is the same as 8 5/10 or 8.5. I don't mind fractions, so I'll leave it that way. Times my height is 4. And now I just multiply those two together. And I get 34. This time my units are in feet. Feet squared, or again you could also write square feet. But you always have to write units for area. Another way you're going to be asked to find the area is just from a grid like this where they don't tell you the units. So if we look on this grid, we can actually just count the squares, and to find the base, I'm going to look right here, and I can see that this is actually 2 units for my base. So I write my formula, A equals B times H, and my base is 2 units, and then I can count my height. So if I go up and down here, this is as low down as it goes, and it goes up that high. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units high. 2 times 5 is 10, And then for my units, I'm just going to, it doesn't tell me feet or meters or anything else. So I'm going to write units squared. Our area always has this power of 2. In our last example, example 3, you make a photo prop for a school fair and you cut a 10-inch square out of a parallelogram shaped piece of wood. What is the area of the photo prop? Okay, so we have a little picture over here, and if we look at our actual shape, it looks like this, and then it's got this little piece cut out of the center. Alright, so first I need to find the area of the larger parallelogram. And so A equals base times height. To me, it looks like the base of that is 4 feet, and the height would be 8 feet. Four times 8 is 32, and then my units are feet squared. Now I need to look at this little guy in the center here for the face. Well, originally I have feet here, but this is in inches. So in order to be able to compare these, I either need to change my 10 inches into feet or my 32 feet into inches. It's really just a personal preference, but I'm going to change these 10 inches into feet. I know there are 12 inches in a foot, therefore I know that 10 inches is really 10/12ths of a foot, and I can simplify that, which is 5/6 of a foot. So area equals base times height. My base is 5/6 of a foot times my height, which is the same, 5/6 of a foot. And now I multiply these together and I get 25/36 feet squared. Now, what I have to do with this is, really what I'm looking for is all this area here and all around here. I want everything except what I just calculated. So if I want everything except what I calculated, well then I take this 32 feet and I'm going to subtract 25/36 of a foot. To do that, I'm just going to give myself a little bit of space. Because I need to do some borrowing here. So I'm going to change this into 31 and change this into 36/36, because this is still 32 total feet here. I have just changed one whole into a whole fraction. So if I subtract, these have a common denominator now, and if I subtract 36 minus 25, I now have 11/36, and then 31 minus nothing is 31, and I still have feet squared. So that's the area of the entire photo prop.